And so for those of us who are listening and for those who might never have heard of the CBP One app before, you've helped some of our clients go through the app process, but what can people use it for?
The CBP One app is something that was implemented by the Biden administration last year in 2023 in an effort to stop the influx of people at the border or to help coordinate that. What it is, it's trying to get people away from entering illegally or at other or through other ports of well, not through other spots that are not legal ports of entry. That is what it's trying to do. And it's also a way for the government to know who is coming in, who is actually coming in, who we're letting in. So that was the whole purpose of it, or that is the purpose of it.
Just so that everybody's aware, if people are coming in to Mexico and wanting to present themselves to the border, they can utilize this app to do that. But what do they need? They at least need a smartphone, right?
Okay, so yeah, you'll need either an Android or an iOS device. It's important to say that because those are the only two operating systems supported by this app. You'll also need some form of ID. It does not have to be valid and it does not have to be a passport. I know a lot of countries issue like national ID cards. Those are useful as well. And then if you have children, it's important to have some type of document like a birth certificate, that proves that that child is actually your child.
And then what can people expect? If they arrive to Mexico, maybe say if they're not from Mexico originally, if they arrive to Mexico and now they're wanting to book an appointment to show up at the border, how long is this process going to take and what do they need to know?
All right, so it is important to know that the app will not work if you're not in Mexico. It's geo-tracked, so it detects your location. And then once you download the app like you would any other app, you answer a few questions and you wait for an appointment. There's really not a lot of science behind it. It can get difficult depending on everyone has a different situation, but it just kind of depends on following the steps. And then I know the instructions or the app itself, it's in English and Spanish and many other languages.
How long does it typically take, or how long has it taken our clients to get an appointment set?
So there is no set time frame for you to get an appointment. However, the soonest we've seen it would be like 6 weeks. And it's also depending on how many people are asking for an appointment. Keep in mind, a lot of people are asking for an appointment. And again, it's not like you get in line and you're waiting for an appointment. It's just the appointments are giving out at random. So you might be a lucky person and sign up today and get one tomorrow. You might also sign up today and have to wait 6 to 8 weeks for one. So it just kind of depends on luck, really.
Yeah, and isn't there like a time every day that they have to try to log in and try to request that next appointment?
Yeah, so once you fill out the application or you answer those questions for the first time, you'll click on a button that says request appointment. And then on let's say you requested today, tomorrow at noon Central Time, US Central Time, they'll roll out the appointments. And if you are selected, you'll get a notification where you'll have to accept the appointment. If you don't get one, you simply go ahead and request an appointment again and you wait for the following day. And you do that every day until you get one. It can take a while, yes, but you'll be notified. So the app is very good at notifying you whether or not you got an appointment. And like I said, once you get an appointment assigned to you, you have 24 hours to accept it. But again, the app will tell you.
And if people are frustrated or having a challenge with it, I guess what I'm saying is, what's the benefit of working with a lawyer? What's the benefit of working with a law firm in helping get this appointment and helping get it the correct way?
So it is important to know that once you get an appointment and you get to the CBP One appointment at the port of entry, and they let you in because you'll be paroled in, you will be in removal proceedings. So unless you have a way to remain in the United States, you could eventually have to leave the United States. However, that's when an attorney comes in, so that they can fight for you, whether you're eligible for TPS, depending on where you're from. Maybe you have a possible petition from a family member, or you have some sort of other benefit. I know the most popular is asylum, but you definitely want to have some, they do credible fear interviews at the border. Sometimes, not all the time, but you do want to know how to answer those questions so that they allow you in and that you can, start your process. It's also important to know that as soon as you're paroled in, you're eligible for a work permit, valid up to 2 years. So that is also a huge benefit. You can start working legally almost right away.
Are there certain ports of entry that are better than others?
Okay, so the cool thing about the app, it actually lets you decide where you want to go. It's always recommended, or at least we recommend that our clients go to go through California. San Isidro is the most popular one, as opposed to Brownsville in Texas, only because California, as we know, is more immigrant friendly than Texas, and we've had way more success in California than Texas. So it's important to know that once you go through the CBP One app, you'll be fingerprinted, so you'll be vetted in if you've had a prior deportation, and then if you have some sort of like a ban for like a 10-year ban, a 5-year ban, they will still not let you in. So a lot of people ask that all the time. But other than that, if you don't have any like crimes or anything, most people are being allowed in. However, it's also important to know that just because you're paroled in, that does not mean you are going to be allowed to be in the US permanently. It's just think of it as a way to legally turn yourself in at the border without having to put yourself at risk with like a smuggler or paying someone else to get you
Yep.
in.
Yep. Awesome. So, for everybody out there, if you are afraid for your life, if you're fleeing from violence or persecution, if you're wanting to seek asylum, this is a viable way to show yourself at the border, be processed, be allowed in so that you can fight your asylum case in the United States. There are some other instances where you might benefit from a parole entry also. We have a client right now who's married to a U.S. citizen, and we're trying to bring a spouse through the border using this app. So there are a few other ways that we might utilize this app. But if you're out there listening and if you want help with this process, if you want help from a team that knows how to do this and that has done this before, feel free to reach out. Raul is a paralegal here in our office and has graciously agreed to speak with me here on our podcast. But we as an office believe in immigrants, and we would love to help you through the process if we can help you with it.
I'd like to just point out that, again, like I mentioned earlier, this was put in place by the Biden administration. Being election year, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So, and we don't know if this program will stay in place if a new administration does come in. So just to keep that in mind, if you're trying to make up your mind about it, it's the time to act.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Raul, for joining us. And everybody out there, thank you for tuning in.